Who are you?
I am Ibby with a hot.
What motivated you to get into music?
It was always a thing I wanted to do. It was always a dream of mine. I always wanted to go into music. I always wanted to be a part of music. But initially, I wanted to get into acting. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to go to uni for acting, but that didn't work out. And music was always going to be something I was going to do on the side rather than something I did as my main job. But it was always a passion of mine. I always loved making music as well as listening to music. I just never thought of doing it as like a profession. I think in terms of motivation, it was just trying to strive for a career that wasn't regular. I didn't want to just do a 9 to 5 or just the same old job every single day. I wanted to do something that was different and new all the time. And when you're doing a job that's creative, you have no choice but to make it different and new all the time. So I think that's the biggest motivation for me.
Who are your favourite artists and do you take any inspiration from them?
Top top three. It's gonna have to be a top three. I'm gonna say number one favorite artist is Kid Laroi. My second favorite artist is gonna have to be Eminem. And for nostalgia and just growing up, I listened to him so much. My third favorite artist is like I kind of always like reside that spot for someone that I'm listening to the most in the moment. Someone that's like, who's my favorite artist right now? And I would have said Hey Nothing, the band, but because of his new album and because of how much I've been listening to him recently, I'm gonna have to say it has to be Jim Legacy. He just released Black British Music, and I literally can't stop listening to it. So Jim Legacy, as of right now, third favorite artist, 100%.
If you could open for any of them artists, who and why?
Okay, I've seen someone open for the Kid Laroi. I've seen Sam Tompkins open for Laroi, and also listening to Sam Tompkins growing up and enjoying his music and seeing how far he's come from, first hearing him in like 2015, 2016, to obviously now 10 years later, seeing how big of an artist he is, and also just like actually being able to see him perform now and open for, my favorite artists. I want to say Laroi. I really badly want to say Laroi. I think Laroi will definitely be the artist that I want to open for, just because it seems fun, But in terms of realism, I think Jim Legacy would probably be someone that I could open for. So I think realism, Jim Legacy, dream, Laroi.
What does a typical day look like for you?
A typical day for me is wake up at 6:30, even though I should be waking up a lot earlier. Go to work for 7. I work as a groundsman, so I guess work from 7 till 3. And then after 3 o'clock is come home. I think after 3 o'clock is when it's like everything's different. Like I could be doing whatever. I could be spending time with my family. I could be making music. I could be with my sister recording. I could be out with my friends. I think that's the thing I love the most about my life is that I always have that static, which is my job. Of you're going to be doing this 5 days a week, 7 to 3. Yep, 100%. But then after 3 o'clock onwards, I can be doing literally whatever. So I can't sit here and say what does my typical day look like, but what do I typically do? Record music, make music, write music, see my friends, see my family. Yeah.
On the EP, what has been your favourite song to make so far?
Favorite song to make? Because everything I make is completely produced by me. It's a nice question because it's like everything is done by me. So sort of like it's not even as if I can say, oh well, this one because I actually made this one, whereas the other ones I didn't. I've made all of them. So I think my favorite one to make, I'm gonna have two answers. Number one is gonna have to be Lament, purely because it was the funnest for me to make. It was the last song we made on the EP, and it was the one where I could add the most amount of things that I had learned whilst making the EP, all the new plugins I had found, how to actually use them, how to use the plugins I already had properly, and in my opinion, it was the best produced song off of the EP. But another answer would have to be Bit/Better, just because I had so much fun making it with Tanya. There has to be a runner-up. But yeah, definitely those two.
What is your favourite song on the EP?
I always will have love for Bit/Better as being mine and my sister's first ever song we made together completely. So that has to be there in that light. But my favourite song of the EP is in a song that I'll just genuinely bump by myself, probably You Don't Get to Know Me. Just because in my opinion it's a great song. It's a great song. It's got great bass, it's got great lyrics, great melody, and I like it's a song that if I found that just like going through Spotify or going through like someone's Instagram or TikTok, I would add that to my own playlist.
What has been the hardest part about making music?
Probably time, not having enough, or not feeling like I have enough time, having to work and just do everyday things like, cleaning up, doing the dishes, keeping your bedroom clean. I always feel like the hardest thing to deal with when it comes to, trying to have a career like this is that you never feel like you have enough time to focus on these things. You always feel like you're making this music and you're doing all these things, but you're running out of time. And when you're doing something else, you're like, I should be focusing on mixing that song or recording that song or writing a new song or whatever it may be.
Are there any songs that were meant to be in Metamorphosis but didn't make it?
Wow, what a great question, because there were. What a great question. There was a few songs that were meant to be Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis originally was, how many songs that you got? Mourn, Young, Lament, You Don't Get to Know Me, Bitter Such Bad. You got 5 songs on the EP. There was going to be another song called Hindsight that was going to be on there. And we also had, there was Hindsight and there was Freak of Nature. So there were 2 songs that were meant to be on the EP that got cut out. They're both great songs. I haven't even had a chance to look back on what they were and where we can go with them. They got cut out because they were the songs that were in my opinion, they were too loose at the time for me to go anywhere with them. Like we had the basics in terms of some lyrics, partially backing tracks, and like we had the idea of it, but there was no to really go with it. And it was just coming up towards the date that I wanted to release the EP on, and I just said we probably won't have enough time to get this all done and finished before the EP is released. I think by the time we had finished the first 5 songs in terms of recording them all and then starting to mix them, it was sort of like we had about maybe a month or a month and a half until the EP was going to be released. And I was like, I can't now think of the rest of the lyrics, finish the backing track, and then record, mix, and master these extra 2 songs as well. In all honesty, Hindsight, maybe not so much. I kind of do wish I had put Freak of Nature on the EP. I think it would have fit so perfectly with the idea of the EP, but I'm not upset that it's not on there. I think it's such a great song that it's something that I can add onto a future project and just make even better. I love the concept of the song, and it's something I definitely want to work on in the future, just take it in a completely different route to what it was originally.
How does it feel to have music out?
Amazing. It feels great. I've always had this sort of thing with me, especially about having dreams to do things and never following it, like just even since I was a kid, like I wanted to be a YouTuber. I ended up buying the whole setup, the microphone, the camera, the headphones. I downloaded what's it called, Bandicam, I think, on my laptop, which was to record like the screen, set everything up to my Xbox, and I made a video of me playing Metal Gear Solid 5. Never released it because I was too scared. I shied away at the idea of not even okay, this might not work out, but just the idea of who would even watch this in the first place? What is the point? I'm just wasting my time. And I feel like that's such a horrible way to think, especially so young. And even now, if you're an adult, it's such a horrible way to think of who's going to even watch this. In my opinion, now that I think about it, it's like that's regardless of the point. It doesn't matter who will watch this. There could be someone who watches it, there might not be, but the fact is that if you want to do it, go and do it. And the fact that I've done it, the fact that I have released music and it's out there, is 100% the best feeling in the entire world.
How did it feel to perform for the first time, and how does it compare now?
When I first performed, which was last October, I was excited. I don't think the nerves hit me until the actual evening, probably like 20 minutes before I even got up there. I felt really prepared at the time. I had these songs ready, which like in hindsight now I'm thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe I even performed them. They were so badly mixed. They didn't sound good. But at the time I was excited because I was like, I just have something to show to everyone. I had released 2 songs. I didn't even want to perform Faded, but did tell myself, showcased Young, Bitter Such Better, and You Don't Get to Know Me. And at the time I was happy, but going up there, getting on stage, I was so scared because the woman who went on before me had such an amazing voice, but then she turned around at the start of her set and went, guys, by the way, I'm really sick, so if I sound like bad, ignore it. Then sounded amazing, and I was like, I'm fine, and I won't sound that good, so I got scared. But went up, had a great time, everyone said I was great, made me feel great. And and it was just fun. And then I didn't get another show up until this year, May or June time. So it was a massive gap, but I really wanted to perform again. But it was okay because it gave me time to work on the EP, you know, completely focus on that. And since then, releasing the EP, I think I've had 5 or 6 performances since then. And each one I just feel more and more comfortable on the stage, and I sort of like go on and get off, and I'm like, okay, that was great, I want to do it again. I've had the bad experiences where, you know, maybe my mic hasn't been EQ'd properly, and, you know, I sound really boomy or I sound really tinny. But in general, I love performing. You know, like I get on that stage and I just feel comfortable. And I feel like I've always been like that. I've always been comfortable on the stage, like even in secondary school. Yeah, it's such a great feeling to be up there and just have all these people sort of look at you. And I can understand why it's daunting for people, but in my opinion, it's sort of like these people are looking at you and they're enjoying what you're doing. And even if they're not, you are enjoying what you're doing. So that's kind of like the whole point.
You've had some amazing outfits for your shows. Where do you get the inspiration from?
A little trip down memory lane. I want to take us back to 2017. How old would I have been? Little 14, 15-year-old Ibby had just discovered TGF on YouTube. And for you guys who don't know who TGF are, they're a duo group. They do like comedy skits and just stupid stuff. But they were kind of in their fashion bag at the time, and in my opinion, they had quite alternative fashion ideas. And just the way that they sort of like portrayed themselves was, in my opinion, that was cool. You know, I wanted to kind of like dress and act like that. And then they started releasing their own clothing brand called Childish, and I copped a few of their hoodies. Yeah, I think it was around that time where it's sort of like, okay, let me kind of start thinking about how I want to look and how I want to, you know, appear to other people. It feels easier now because I sort of know what I like to wear and what I don't like to wear. Yeah, I think fashion for me is just so experimental and so fun. It's also like music, you know, it's just one of those creative things where it's like you can make this however you want it to be and you can do whatever you want with it. Just go have fun. I think in terms of my outfits for performing, I like to have outfit ideas ready beforehand, and I like to envision what I'm gonna wear. I take inspiration off of people on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. It's sort of like I see one thing and it's like, okay, that looks cool with that fit. What if I put it on this outfit? And then what if I put it on that outfit? Then, okay, what can I add to it to make it more of my own? Like I'll see someone wearing jorts and a shirt, or jorts and a hoodie, and I'll be like, okay, I like the jorts, not the hoodie. What if I put it with this? Okay, that looks cool. Now, how do I make that now my own? And then we came up with the Metamorphosis shorts. It was sort of like a get that, add my own, make it. In terms of with my outfits for future shows, it's just sort of having a clear idea, working off of that, and then turning it into reality as well as making it my own. Like I'd love to add like a bunch of rhinestones to an outfit just to make it like really glittery and blingy. And then I'd love to like do like a bit of bleach work on like a black outfit, you know? I just like making things really personalized. But then also I think that's where the idea of like merch and stuff come from as well. Because sort of like, okay, I love wearing this and making it look like that. What if I then made it for other people to wear and I sold it?
This is your first YouTube video. What are your plans with that in the future?
YouTube in the future is to
blow up and then act like I don't know nobody.
My plans with the YouTube is I'm gonna take a year off of work and I'm gonna build this YouTube. I'm gonna try and record a video every single week and sort of do like a catch-up vlog style-esque type thing, but with the music and just sort of what we're doing. Like if I spend a whole week working on merch ideas leading up to a gig where I'm gonna, you know, try and sell shirts, whatever, then that week's video will be about the merch and designing and stuff like that. And it would just be, because I don't think on top of them, I mean, I would love to, and we'll see on how much free time I really have. I'm not sure if I'll be able to record a video every single day, but recording little clips every single day, piling it into a week's worth of clips and then putting that on YouTube, I'd love to do that. I want to make more long form content. I feel like I'm not good at making short form content and I don't really like it anyways. Like little hooks for, you know, TikTok videos or Instagram videos, they bore me so much, you know. It's just not fun to me. It's not the idea of fun. I feel like there's so much effort that goes into these things that nobody sees, and then it ends up being a 10-second clip that 90% of people will just skip past, you know? Whereas if you sit there and make a long-form content video, like on YouTube or something like that, somebody might sit there and, you know, they're gonna have lunch and they sit there and they find your YouTube clip and they wanna watch that while they eat their lunch. You know, and you've got a 20, 30 minute, even an hour long video, and they can sit there and watch that the whole time, you know? And to me, that's proper content, you know? I love stuff like that. No hate against short form content creators. Love it, love what you're doing. It's just not for me. But in terms of with YouTube, the plan, carry on posting hopefully once a week, and just stay consistent and don't drop it even after the year, before the year, whatever. Just don't drop it. I want to do YouTube. I've always wanted to do YouTube, and now I feel like I have an opportunity to bring two things I've always wanted to do, music and YouTube, together and make this.
In regards to working with your sister, who inspired who first to get into music?
Working with Tanya, it has been amazing. It's so nice to be able to, and I don't know what it's like to work with anyone else, in terms of the music. I've never had to, sort of sit down and write a song with someone else or record a song with someone else. So I don't know what to compare it to, but, honest to God, saying now working with your sibling, it is probably easier than working with someone who isn't your family or your friend. Who inspired who is a difficult one. I feel like Tanya really inspired me in terms of music in general. She really put me on a lot of artists, and growing up, it was always a case of Tanya would find a song and show me. I would bump it for the next 6 months, and then she'd be like, oh, I found like 12 new songs since then, let me show you these as well. So Tanya was like constantly putting me on new music. But in terms of who inspired who, I did start the music, like I released Faded back in February or March of 2024, and then I released Sell My Soul. And then it wasn't until working on the EP where I was like, oh, I need your help with a few things, that we sort of sat down and she was helping me with everything to do with the EP. And I was like, why don't we just make a song together? What's the point of you helping me in the background? Just be on a track. You got great vocals, you can sing. She did music for GCSE. It kind of made sense for her to then do it with me. So I think in terms of inspiration, music in general, Tanya definitely inspired me more. But in terms of jumping on music and actually doing it and making it into a career, I have to say that was me. So yeah, I think it's nice and equal between us.
What are future projects you are working on?
Many things. I don't want to spoil too much, but we've got a single releasing hopefully by the end of the month. Other future projects, I'm taking a year off, and it's sort of everything needs to kind of sink into that year and build up from that year. In terms of prior to that year, I want to try and release a few more singles. We're working on another song at the moment, secondary to this one that's releasing at the end of the month. But other than that, it's kind of focusing on building social media, working on YouTube, working on the brand. Projects in general, I want to start making some merch and thinking about merch as like an idea. But yeah, in terms of music, it's just it's some stuff coming up, but I think we need to get through this year first, and then we can really start pushing some stuff out there. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. Links to all my social media, TikTok, Instagram, will be down below, and mine and Tanya's shared account. Light went off.